Hi, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Cathy Neptune, and I'm going to share tips, tools, and recipes to make these items in your home fun, fast, and fabulous. And we have our summer bounty upon us. It's been a long summer waiting for the sunshine, but because of that, we've had so much rain, we're getting all of our vegetables all at the same time. So it can be a challenge. So I think we're up for the challenge, and you can see what I have here. I'm starting with, I call them shingles of fresh vegetables. We have our zucchini, our yellow summer squash, Roma tomatoes, and I selected the Romas because they're a smaller type, and you'll see in a minute why that's important, and some wonderful eggplant. But you can, of course, mix this up with whatever your favorite veggies. Sometimes I tuck in some sweet onions in here, or whatever you think will work out well. And you want to keep in mind, if you do mix it up, that they all cook at the same time and temperature. So I thought these were pretty compatible in the oven, if you will. And I have preheated my oven at 425. So this just makes a beautiful, beautiful platter. And before we put this into the oven, I have a marinade that I've done ahead of time. But I want to put a little bit of salt on the top of this, and I'm using Himalayan sea salt, just because these can be a little bland. And of course, you know that tomatoes and zucchini and squash just needs a lot of salt. And these eggplants that I've done, I've kind of cut them in little crescents because they were a little bit large. So I'm going to put that over there for now, and I'm going to make a little dressing on top. And this is something I'm using for our second recipe, but I want to show you. Look at all the garlic in here. This is about 9 cloves of garlic. And I'm going to take some of this and put it in here. And I infused the garlic with the olive oil, and I just heated the garlic into the oil. Now, you don't want to burn the garlic in here because it gets a very acrid, bitter taste. So very important, you heat up your oil, put the garlic in there, and just let it set until it cools down at room temperature. And of course, if you had leftover, you always want to store it in the refrigerator so it doesn't go rancid. But that gives you a wonderful, wonderful flavor. And then inside here, I have some smoked paprika and our dry rub that we've made before, and we've talked about that. It has onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, and a little bit of pepper. So I've mixed that in with the poached, I'll call it poached fresh garlic. And then I'm going to add some more seasoning and flavor because these veggies are going to need a little help. So you can use whatever you have on hand. This is a wonderful one. It's oregano, basil, and tomatoes. And you know me, I'm always looking for something on the shelves in the supermarkets with extra flavor. So this I thought would be great. It's kind of an Italian take on the veggies, and you can certainly use Italian seasoning in here if you didn't have all this. And then this, to bump it up, there's onion powder, a little onion flakes, and a little bit more parsley in there. So that just, it smells very fragrant. And then we're going to take this and brush it on to our veggies. And just use, I like the silicone basting brushes. And remember, if you want to know the resources for all these great tools, just email me and I'll be glad to send you the info. And I can even order them and have them shipped to you if you'd like. But this gives everything a nice coating of flavor and also keeps the veggies very moist when they're cooking. So just a light, you can see how easy this is to do. And you have all the flavor of the garlic inside the oil. And we've already salted them. This would be a great dressing on top of pasta too if you wanted to take this and put it over some fresh pasta. This would be good. And I think eggplant needs a lot of help. So we're going to brush that on. And you could certainly do this a little bit ahead of time. You could take a grill pan, and if it's able to go on the grill, you could certainly put this over a grill and toast it till it's done. That would be great. And there's a little something here for everybody. Now put that aside and then get our pan. I have this pan here, a roasting pan, and make sure that it's a size that will accommodate all these wonderful vegetables. So we're just going to basically, I call it shingling the veggies, and let's start over here. We'll do a yellow and a green and a tomato and an eggplant, and we're just going to go down and do this all the way down the pan. And you can kind of get the hang of it. You could do this. Get the kids to help you with this because this would be fun for them. And do those. And we'll probably get about 3 rows in here. And you notice I've sliced them all about the same thickness as well. And they don't need much more seasoning than that. Trying to think of what other veggies. If you had thicker mushrooms, you could certainly put mushrooms. Sometimes I've even added some mozzarella cheese in between, which is fun to do. And I'm doing the same ones over and over so they're kind of consistent in color. Or you could just mix them up however you want. And these will probably take about 40 minutes. I would check them after 40 minutes. If they look like they're getting too brown, you can always put a cover on them as well. Let's see if we're going to make it here. I think we have enough. The yellow and the green. And it makes such a nice presentation. And let's see if we could do a few more here. These are great leftovers too, and good in a salad. And I seem to have a lot of tomatoes, so I'm going to start doubling up on the tomatoes. Put them in there. What a nice presentation this would be to bring to somebody's barbecue too. It's all ready to go. It's colorful, it's yummy, it's kind of light. It's not too much fat or starch in it. And I'll tuck in a few tomatoes on the end. And I think that's good to go. I'm going to pop this in the oven. Let's see if we get them all. Wow, that's going to be quite a platter of garden veggies. That is a feast. Okay, one more and we're done. Look at this. How pretty is that going to be? So as I said, 425. We're going to check it after about 40 minutes, and I don't think you need to cover it. And it'll kind of toast up, and when we come back, we'll start on our main dish. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. We have our veggie shingles in the oven, and those are cooking off well. And I thought this would be a nice summer meal to go with it. We have some chicken breasts, and I like the boneless, skinless kind. They just are a little more forgiving, and we're going to treat them with the same, remember this olive oil and garlic mixture. Well, we have some left over, and I have in here about a teaspoon of dried oregano, so it's a little bit different in flavor. And we're going to put this in here, and I added the oregano in here a little bit, about half of it in with the oil, because dried oregano needs a little time to set up. So you'll see a little bit of oregano in there because it's dry, so it kind of like revitalizes your oregano. And then we're going to take our chicken breasts and coat them, and we're going to add to this mixture about 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. Okay, well, it's about 2 tablespoons. And it's not like baking, so you don't have to be exact. And then we have lemon zest, fresh lemon. Oh, there's nothing like fresh lemon zest, so we're going to mix that in. And then this is what makes it special too. Some dry white wine, about 1/3 of a cup. I mean, how bad is that? And let's see, I'm going to add a little bit more flavoring. This is a garlic and herb, onion herb, and I like the onion flavor in this. And I think that's about it. This is a little spice rub. Again, it has a little smoked paprika in it, just for color. You don't need a lot, but it has a little bit of dried basil in there. And we're going to take this and brush it all over our chicken. And you know what I didn't do that I should always do to get a nice crispy coat is dry your chicken breasts very well so they get crispy. Very important. All these little details make a huge difference on your finished product. And if you're ever doing a cooking competition, these little things really add up, all these little extra steps. So now we're going to coat that. And the garlic, this is very garlicky. Very garlicky. And you're going to have quite a bit left over, but I'll show you what we're going to do with it. And we have these all oiled in the marinade, and we're going to take some fresh mushrooms, whatever your favorite. These are just sliced regular white mushrooms. And we're going to put those at the bottom. And then we're going to add on top of that this wonderful dressing, which seems like a lot, but it coats everything. And remember, we have the white wine, the lemon juice, the lemon peel to break up all those herbs. And then we're going to take our chicken breast and lay them over the top. And these are fairly thin, so they're not going to cook, take a long time to cook. So just making sure that they're fitting all in the pan. And who doesn't like chicken, especially a one-dish meal like this? Now, my friend Mary suggested that you could serve this over pasta if you want when you're done, or you could even add a little more liquid to this, like a chicken stock, and do a rice at the bottom of this, a nice yellow rice or something. So that would be a great way to go. And then, because we can, I'm going to take this over here. And believe it or not, you know what I have from my herb garden? And thank you everybody for commenting on my herb garden. This is lemon basil. How cool is that? So we're going to put those leaves over the top, just like that. And, you know, just kind of to cover it. I love basil. Says like summer to me. It just is so fragrant. And there's something very satisfying about going in to your backyard or on your deck and picking out fresh veggies or herbs that you've grown yourself. It's so cool. And then this is some tarragon, Mexican tarragon. Now, I don't know what the difference is with Mexican tarragon, but it's not as strong, I find. And it has kind of like a licorice flavor. So I'm going to put a little stem on each one. And in case you haven't noticed, there's a lot of herbs going on with this. So we'll put, maybe we don't need a whole one, maybe just a little piece on each, not to overpower it. And to follow along that theme, I have some lemon thyme. You can use regular dried thyme and put it in the marinade, but this, believe it or not, here we go again, is lemon thyme. And this is just a beautiful herb. It is just amazing, the flavor that you get from it. So just laying those over the top. So I think I've got one on every single one. Make sure you have the right coverage for each of them. Well, I guess I do. Yep, everybody's got one. Oh, there's one there. Okay, and then we're going to add some lemon slices over the top. And look at how thinly sliced they are. So we're just going to layer them and shingle them like we did the veggies. I guess there's a theme going on here. Put them right over the top so every piece is going to have their own little lemon garnish. And just so that these brown up nicely and don't dry out, I'm barely going to brush a little bit of this lemon marinade over the top, because the oil is going to give it a good coating so they don't shrivel up, but they will brown nicely. And that is our lemon and wine herbed chicken. That is good enough for company. This whole meal would be a great summer company feast. So I'm going to get these in the oven, and when we come back, we're going to do a couple other recipes. So we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Well, it's time for dessert. We have our chicken in the oven roasting along with our veggies. And now we're going to make a dessert. And I think this says summer. Wait until, just hang with me here and wait until we finish it off. I think it's really, really good. So in here I have a packet of sugar-free Jell-O. And I think this flavor is red raspberry, or it could be black cherry. Yep, this is black cherry. And you can use any flavor, and like I said, it's sugar-free, which is really good. And we're just going to blend this up. And I have a cup of boiling water. Now, you know most Jell-Os ask for 1 cup of boiling water and 1 cup of cold water. So we're just going to make sure, you can see there's no crystals in there. So that's when you know it's well mixed. There's no little granules in there. I'm going to pour that into a larger bowl. Oops. Let me see here. I just want to get everything out so that it's going to gel carefully. And I guess I didn't get to the bottom of it. And then we're just going to let that kind of medium to get chilled down just a little bit. It doesn't have to chill, but just so that it isn't boiling. Because what we have here is whole Greek yogurt. And I use the whole, not the low fat or the non-fat. I think this gives a creamier texture. And we're going to measure out 2 cups of the yogurt. So let me get a spoon. Just easier to negotiate with a spoon. And I'll use this one. I'm going to take 2 cups of this. And of course, remember our segment that we did with homemade yogurt, just because this has activated cultures in it, active cultures. Just save this and heat it with a little lukewarm milk and add about a tablespoon of this Greek yogurt to it and let it set in a thermos overnight, and you have freshly made homemade yogurt. And when you save this, it's kind of like a starter dough, so you can certainly do that. And always have yogurt on hand because it's pretty nice. And it gives it this a creamy texture that I think you're going to really enjoy. So there's 1 cup. And you can see it's just a little work, but it kind of melts into it. Be careful not to splash it all over you. And you don't need to get out a mixing, you know, an electric mixer or a blender. You can see how that's incorporating right in there. What a pretty color this is. There's that. And that also cools down the gelatin mixture. I've done this with, oops, lemon Jell-O. You could do like a orange one and do orange segments on the top. But wait until you see how we do this. And of course you want to spill on the counter, so it looks like you've been working in the kitchen. And I've never tried this with a flavored yogurt, but I guess you could. But you're going to find that the Jell-O is sweet enough, even though it's sugar-free. It's quite sweet. It's surprising how sweet it is. I'm going to add that in there. I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to add the rest of this. Like I said, what a gorgeous pink color this is. And if you buy the large container of yogurt, you're going to have plenty. And then gently just get it mixing in the bottom. And if you have the gelatin in your pantry, you can make this anytime. All you need is yogurt, and I always have yogurt for smoothies. And in fact, this reminds me a lot of what the flavors of a smoothie would be. And it almost looks like melted ice cream. Look at how beautiful that is. There we go. And we're going to pour this, remove everything aside, into some pretty little dishes. And I have 2 different types here to give you an idea of what different types of bowls you could use. Usually makes 4 generous servings. Isn't that pretty? I'm trying not to spill, but I'll be cleaning that up before it goes in the refrigerator. And you just want to refrigerate this until it sets. It doesn't take long, maybe a couple of hours. You could do this the night before and bring it out. And wait until you see how we garnish this. So I'm going to pop these in the refrigerator, and we'll be right back. I have some that are already made. I'm going to clean up and put these in the refrigerator, and wait until you see how we garnish these. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I've cleaned up and we've done, this is the Jell-O that has set up, and look at how creamy and smooth, but it's solid. So you could do a pretty mold with this if you wanted to spray the mold and turn it out onto something. It's just a great recipe. And because it's summer and the bounty of, boy, we've had good fruit this year. Really, really nice fruits. And I think I'm going to core the stems out of the strawberries. And we're going to fan them out just by slicing in between, like so. Make a little fan at the top. And it's been a great year for strawberries. And it's so good for you. And I guess this is kind of a healthy meal on the healthy side. I think this would be a great summer dinner. And even for company. I would certainly do this for company. And then spread that out into like a fan. And then look at the size of these blackberries. They are huge. I'm going to put a couple of blackberries in there because they're so pretty. And then just a cascade of beautiful, beautiful blueberries. Like so. And you could use any kind of fruit that you have that you like. You could certainly do raspberries, pineapples, mangoes. You could do a whole tropical, like a pineapple gelatin, sugar-free or not, however you like. And then for the top, look at this. I have, believe it or not, I have some pineapple mint, and I have some berries and cream mint, and I have some chocolate mint, and I just can't decide, so I'm going to put a little bit of everything on the top. This is a chocolate mint, and let's do a berries and mint. You can see the leaves are a little bit different. Let's make a match. Let's do another chocolate mint over here. How pretty is that? And you know, you don't have to put whipped cream on this because it's so beautiful, and the gelatin itself is with the yogurt is so creamy and so delicious. Look at how beautiful that is. What a nice presentation. And this you would be proud to serve to your company, to your family. It just makes it, and how easy is that? So be adventuresome with this. A nice lime green one. Go for color, you know, get with kiwi limes and strawberries, and a tropical twist to it would be just phenomenal. And I know your family and friends would be really impressed. And they can eat it guilt-free too, because we're all trying to eat healthier and be healthier. So I hope you try these. And when we come back, we have a question from one of our people. And we're going to answer it, and we're going to show you something fun for a drink, a summer drink. So we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. This is a wonderful beverage to serve to top off our wonderful summer bounty meal. And we heard from one of our viewers who writes to us with their questions. And thank you all to everybody who writes in with your comments and suggestions. I read them all. They're just great. What a great team to have out there. And so this is from Amy from Leominster. And Amy writes, "Hi, Cathy. Thank you for all your great tips and recipes on your show. I'm a beginner cook and love all your ideas." Well, thank you, Amy. That's very nice. That's what we love to hear. Now, Amy says, "I hate to waste anything, especially food. Who doesn't? So any ideas on how to use the core on fresh pineapples?" Great question, Amy. And how many times have we cored a pineapple, a fresh one, and we're left with the core? Well, I'm going to show you a great way to use that with a lot of flavor. And there's a lot of good sweetness in a core. I've taken these and sliced the core. This is just from one pineapple. And look at these. These are all frozen. And I freeze them flat on a tray, wrapped in wax paper, just out on a tray, overnight. And you can leave these in your freezer. And what a great summer drink. And what I have here is some sparkling coconut pineapple soda, I guess you would call it. And you carefully, it's bubbly. And you open that up and pour it into some chilled glasses that I have on ice. And of course, you can add to this some rum or any kind of tequila, flavored tequila, Cointreau, whatever you'd like for summer. But we're going to leave a virgin version of it tonight. And then this is just a fun thing to add. Do you know that they have coconut pineapple ice cream? So you know how you make a root beer float? Well, you could do the same thing with this and float just a little. It'll add creaminess to your drink. And then, this is amazing. Do you know what I have in my garden? Do you believe pineapple mint? This is pineapple mint, and it smells just like pineapple. And you put that on the top, and it's sparkly, and it's fresh, and it's so good on a hot day, and you just serve that up. That is a wonderful summer drink using your pineapple cores. So keep those in the freezer. Buy your pineapples fresh. They take a lot of work to core them out and do it, but it's so worth it. In the way you tell if a pineapple is ripe, by the way, they don't ripen after you pick them. So you have to buy them when they're ripe. And a good way to tell if the pineapple is ripe, you pull the top leaves and they should come out easily. Or if you smell it, it should smell like a pineapple. And that's true for most of your fruits. They should smell like an apple, should smell like an apple, especially melons. On the stem end, you see if it smells like a melon and you know it's ripe, but especially with pineapples. So you want to buy them when they're almost totally yellow, and they have that little give to the top leaves, and you'll be just fine. So you try these. Amy, thank you for your questions, and thank you to everybody who writes in. We're going to serve up our dinner, which is just about done, and wait until you see all this plated together. It's a summer feast. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Look at our summer feast. How fun is this? A wonderful lemon chicken with fresh herbs and wine, done to perfection. Don't forget those mushrooms are underneath, and certainly serve it with a side of rice or orzo or couscous would be wonderful for those flavors. And to gild the lily for our beautiful shingled veggies, just a little touch of saltiness with some Parmesan cheese that I've freshly shaved over the top. And on here, I'm just going to add a fresh sprig of basil from my garden just to green things up. That is a picture. Serve that for your company, for your friends, just for a Saturday night, and it's good to go. We have our beautiful, remember, it's just Jell-O and yogurt, plain yogurt. Mix it up. I want you to try this. If you're struggling with sugar-free diets and trying to cut back, you will not feel like you've missed out on anything, because this is so satisfying. And our beautiful kind of virgin pina coladas with our wonderful pineapple cores that we put in, pineapple mint, and some pineapple coconut ice cream on the top. Welcome to summer. I wish it would stay a little longer, but we have to enjoy it while it's here. It's a great time of year. And thank you all for writing in and your suggestions. Thank you for watching, and may the fork be with you.